Yes, you see, so sometimes, like Urdhvanasana, Viparidandasana, your plight was apparent in coming down. So sometimes you have to learn the pose. You every time do your poses. You do Urdhvanasana, you do Viparidandasana. But once in a while, go to Urdhvanasana. Learn to go only. And then just touch Urdhvanasana and don't stay there. So learn the integrations of going to the pose, Urdhvanasana, Viparidandasana, various postures. And sometimes learn to come down. Don't just stay there. Because every time you stay, you run down your battery and then you don't have to come down. You come down. So learn the integrations of coming down. So you have to divide the practice sometimes for learning to go into the pose and learning to come out of the pose. Those integrations are vital. Then, every time you do your asanas, that is you ingest Urdhvanasana. Suppose if you do every day Urdhvanasana, you are ingesting Urdhvanasana. Now if you are constantly munching and munching and munching, where is the time to digest? You will digest your Urdhvanasana only in Urdhvanasana. So sometimes you have to do Urdhvanasana in such a way that you will do it to digest. That is, practice to learn, practice to consolidate. And practice to consolidate is one of the aspects you have learned today, is learn the integration aspect. Don't be doing more and more and more. Do your pose and see that you digest whether integration is becoming more and more profound. If the integration becomes profound, the cells learn the pose. They don't only learn the pose, they get the imprints of the pose. If they have the imprints, no problem of memory. You have only memory problem wherever you don't have proper and sufficient imprints. Do you follow? This is the psychological explanation of one having good memory or the other one having bad memory. One of the most important factors is that imprints are not sufficient and substantial. So when you do that way, integration, the cells will get the imprints. And when the cells get the imprints, you will not have any problem with the memory of the ankle, memory of the shin, memory of the thigh, memory of the spine, memory of the shoulder, memory of the elbow, upper arm, forearm, palms, fingers, carpal, metacarpals. You will not have that difficulty. Because they will have their imprints, and when they have the imprints, you will learn the integrations. So the lesson today is that you must learn how to go to a pose, and don't learn the pose that day. Learn to go to the pose, how to go to the pose. Don't learn the pose on that day. Could be Trikonasana, could be Sarvangasana, could be Shirshasana. At some point of time, learn to come out of the pose. Don't learn the pose on that day again. Learn to come down. How to come down with integrations. And that is the lesson for philosophy of life. And then the last aspect, very important aspect, Guruji took Sarvangasana with a caution that he is teaching you the wrong. Right? And it's an important lesson that some specific wrongs are means for the right. That's an important lesson in philosophy of life. Do you follow? He said he will be taking Sarvangasana, which should not be done. Why did he take it? Because the specific mannerisms which had appeared on lateral back and lateral front, those imprints were to be used in Sarvangasana. The lateral muscles of the front and back, the mannerisms appeared with your Urdhvanasana, Viparidandasana, and he wanted you to work with those mannerisms. With a caution that it is not the way to do. And that is a specific wrong, which is means for specific correct. All the wrongs are not means for right. Don't mistake. This will be chaotic. Do you follow? All the wrongs are not means for right. Specific wrongs are means for specific right. Specific right of Sarvangasana here, the edges on the front and back. Because the whole Sarvangasana will not improve. He wanted you to learn the specific mannerism on the edges of the front body, back body, off back arches, not the whole of Sarvangasana. And that's why perhaps he did not keep you more than a couple of seconds. He just wanted you to learn the mannerisms which must be served. When you have those imprints, once you give those imprints, the cells will have the imprints and they will work better than your neurons. You all try to work with neurons and you get worked up. Because you say, I have to watch from toe tips to fingertips and toe tips to crown of the head, from front to back, center to right, center to left, core to periphery, periphery to core. So you get worked up because the imprints are not there. Once the cells get the imprints, every cell is independent body, every cell has its own skull, brain, cortices. So you don't have one brain. You have countless brains because you have countless cells. So most important lesson, perhaps you are having it for the first time, is that you must learn how to go to the pose with integration, how to come down from the pose with integration. Once in a while, dedicate your practice for that. And don't be all the time practicing to do the pose and learn the pose. You have to do the pose to remember the pose. And that is to work on integration of it. So don't be all the time ingesting the pose. Leave some time for digestion of the pose. And digestion takes place only in the pose. You can't say, I will do Urdhva Dhanasana and then whole day I'm not doing anything, I will digest. Urdhva Dhanasana is digested only in Urdhva Dhanasana, by Urdhva Dhanasana, through Urdhva Dhanasana. So you have to have that aspect of practice, which has come in that article. If you read that talk I have given, practice to learn and practice to consolidate. And practice to consolidate is for integration. When you learn, you can't integrate because you are aiming at higher degree. You are aiming at higher degree. When you are aiming at higher degree, you cannot be working with integrations. You are working lopsided. You are working localized, focalized. And that is required for you to improve. When you want to improve, for improvement's sake, you must practice to learn. When you practice to learn, you are working on localized and focalized parts. Like floating ribs, like Urdhva Dhanasana, floating ribs, Urdhva Dhanasana, shoulders, Urdhva Dhanasana, sternum, Urdhva Dhanasana, pelvic edges, pelvic girders. So that is all localized. That is also required. You will otherwise not improve. Have you followed? I think that is sufficient for next 25 years when you perhaps might come back for next Golden Jubilee. Well, I don't have to hear your claps. Without your clapping, I can hear those. I know what is your state of mind, and I understand it. I acknowledge it. Thank you.